before I become freelance and in the early days of becoming freelance, I was watching so much content that was just like telling me that people were just waking up and like, oh, I woke up and fucking meditated for like 5 hours. I read a book, read 7 chapters of a book, ran a 5K, came here, did this, and I made 10K this month. And then there's all this bullshit, right? And they're like 21 years old, and they're like, yeah, I'm running like a fucking a 7-figure business, and I just woke up and I smell incredible, right? I fucking hate it so much because it's not real at all, right? And I'm watching that, and it doesn't inspire me. It does the opposite, because what it does is it goes, well, fuck me, I couldn't even get out of bed properly without like creaking as I got out of the bed, and like I came down and like the idea didn't come to me straight away like it did for you, so I must be doing something fucking wrong, right? And that's happening across the entire social media aspect, right?
You're listening to The Angry Designer, where we cut through the industry bull to help frustrated graphic designers survive and thrive. What's up, Angry Designers, and welcome back to part 2 of our conversation with one of the hottest rising stars in the graphic designer community, the one and only Mr. CJ Cawley. Now, in case you didn't realize that there was a part 1 to this episode, I highly recommend you pause and go back and listen to part 1 first, because we talk about his origin story, and everybody loves a good origin story. And this guy's origin story is exceptional. I think this guy, more than anybody I have ever met, embraces, the life of perseverance, if that's even a thing. It's just what he's gone through would make most people crumble, and he just kept going and going and going. This episode promises to have much more CJ, his stories, his life, his social excellence, what works, what doesn't, his advice, and of course our infamous 2-minute fire round questions, which of course he did in CJ style, but I'll let you guys hear that one out. So please grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy this part 2 of our conversation with the one and only Mr. CJ Cawley.
You said something about not going for the obvious, and I thought that was a great post that you made. And again, going back to, it was the Film Weston logo, not for the obvious. I believe that's what your post was, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about this.
Designing obvious logos, which is like obviously, I think it's like the pinnacle of what it means to be a good logo designer, right? Is that, I think a lot of the time, I think that was the idea in my head, which maybe it translated badly in the end or not, I don't know, but it is that a lot of bad logos is usually because they're obvious, right? And something I'd figured out on socials and kind of telling stories was actually people like to step away from positive. They'd rather run away from negative than move towards positive, right? So there's this idea about saying to stop doing something or don't do something, as opposed to doing like, this is a good thing for you to do. We'd rather run away from like, oh, what do you mean don't do this thing or stop doing this thing? So I was like, I need to tell people how to stop doing something or don't do something, because I think people resonate with that harder. And I think, design that most of the time is obvious design, where it's like, okay, I'm a plumbing company, so let's make some pipes in my logo. It sucks, doesn't it? Right? We all die a little bit inside when we see that. So okay, obvious logo design sucks. Let's tell people how to stop doing it. And that logo was perfect for it because it was so different. Like I said, I'd done it 10 years ago, and the execution was terrible. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna redo this logo and kind of modernize it, and now I know what I know, but the story's still there. And the same idea I had 10 years ago still, I believe, is a good idea, which is, let's take something completely different. And in Weston-super-Mare, where this festival was built, there's loads of, like, you get donkeys on the beach. It's like a super normal thing here in the UK. People come out, they ride donkeys on the beach. These kids get to go and ride them, and you feed them. It's awesome, right? So cool, dude. I did it as a kid myself. We went out and did it. We don't do it so much anymore because of animal welfare and all that kind of stuff, which I completely agree with. There's always just like a really bad bunch of idiots that didn't do it right and didn't look after the donkeys, so it ruins it for everyone else, which sucks. But at the time, obviously 10 years ago, this was really kind of like a staple part of that thing. So I was like, I'm going to do this thing. And fuck, dude, it blew up like crazy. And
awesome.
For two reasons, kind of. So really, because again, the storytelling was there. I get stuck. I go, okay,
amazing.
I'm going to tell this story. I create this film festival logo. Okay, I'll use a fucking film camera. Like, that's like a camera. That's obvious. And then I go, no, this sucks. So like, what can I do that's different? What can I do to make this mark special to where it's based. And that's when I came up with that donkey idea and was like, well, there's donkeys on the beach. What if we turn this thing into a donkey? Like, the donkey's legs are really kind of like film camera-y anyway. I was like, there's a way we can squeeze these things two together. So the storytelling was cool. People liked it. Great. But what did it, I think, is the comments were either, this is genius, I fucking love this, or I absolutely hate this. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I hate this dude's face. His smile sucks. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. Right? Which I fucking loved. Like, I thought this was brilliant. Like, I blew my mind. I was like, this is so crazy. So then when you get this, like, debate and this fight on social media, obviously it lends itself very well to engagement and all that good stuff, right? So and it's that argument of like pineapple on pizza, right? So like no one's gonna die from that argument. There's a bunch of people that think it should be on there, there's a bunch of people that don't think it should be on there, and they will fight each other to the ends of the earth on why they don't think it should or shouldn't be. But it's not like no one's gonna die, everyone's okay, it's not an awful thing. And it was the same thing about this logo, Mark. There was people saying like, no, this is fucking genius, and there was people saying, I don't fucking get it and I hate it. And then that conflict helped just conversation happen, and it went well, and it was great. I mean, it turned out that doing that video ended up getting me a bunch of fucking leads and a load of gigs and good times. Like, I didn't care about any negative feedback.
Here's with the negative.
And especially like the personal stuff, like fucking hell, I really don't care about shit like that. Like I'm very, again, when you become homeless in a hotel and have nowhere to fucking go, when someone says your face is a bit ugly, you take it on the chin pretty well. Like, I was all right about it. Like, I just thought it was funny. And I actually turned it into a bit of a skit where I read out all of the terrible comments in a story.
You legitimately did.
Yeah, fully just, like, I every single comment, which was like, just, like, I didn't care about people. Like, I loved the opinions on the logo itself. Like, people saying, I fucking hate this, I'd have removed the legs, I'd have done all this, right? That's awesome. This is creative, constructive feedback. I will ask for that all day long, because I'm just one dude with one brain and everyone else's brains are different. So like, I'm never going to get precious or hurt that someone else has an idea that's just different. And if you do have that, this may not be the industry for you. You need to find a way to not take that personally. But obviously, comments where they're like, your face is disgusting, I hate it, you're smart, right? I'm like, well, that's just literally not needed. And luckily, it happened to me and not somebody else, because like I said, I'm pretty good. I just make fucking fun of it. And I genuinely did not give a shit. I went to sleep very easily that night. But for other people, that could have really fucked with them. Of course it could. That's an awful thing to read about yourself. So I just thought it was funny. I was like, well, if you're going to comment it, I'm just going to share it more, if I'm honest. And what I do is I do this all the time. And I was speaking to Alan Peters about this. I got to chat to Alan Peters and I was telling him about this thing where I said, if you get a negative comment, which you think is just fucking outrageous, right? It's just not cool to say that. I pin it to the top of my comments because I know my followers are legends and they'll back me, and they usually go in there and just start fucking like
tear them apart.
Fuck you, dude! Don't say shit like that. That's a terrible thing to do. What a brilliant strategy! So I just leave it up to them. I'm like, I pin that shit to the top. I'm like, okay, if you've got the balls to say that to someone, just put it to the top, and let's everyone see what you got to say for yourself. Quite quickly, that comment usually gets deleted by them, and they're like, oh fucking hell, because like 100 people say you're an asshole. Why would you say that?
You're an asshole.
There's no need for just being a dick. There's just literally no need for it, right? I always see it as like Jack Chitty taught me this. He's an absolute, like, he the way he deals with the negativity is fantastic. He taught me how to deal with it in a beautiful way, and he explains it that, look, at the end of the day, your comment section is your house, right? So you're inviting people to your house, which means as a guest you respect the host. Okay, you respect. I don't walk into Massimo's house and take that shit, right? Because he'll kick me out of his house every day. He'll kick me out of his house, right? He'll be like, "Fuck you, that's disrespectful. Get out." Same thing on the comments, right? If someone comes in the comments and takes a fat shit and they're horrible, you can just kick them out. You're in your rights to do that in every single way, because that's your house and they need to respect the host. And it's a genius way of doing it, and it changed everything for me. Like, luckily, I didn't get too many. I really get too many crazy comments, but when I do, either I pin that shit so everyone can see it, or I just delete it, or I don't care too much. I'm not too.
It's funny.
Heartbroken by it.
It's the most irrelevant comment of all. I know. And I don't get that.
When they do personal attacks for no reason at all. Jealousy. Haters.
Is that what it is? Is it jealousy?
Look, hurt people just hurt people usually at the time. That's what it is. I think people that are not feeling good about themselves, or they're angry, because I get a lot of that as well. That I think in this design agency, in this design industry that we're in, online on socials is I get a lot of comments where people want to say, you know, like, oh, you're ruining it because you're doing all these silly faces and you're not taking it seriously, kind of thing, right? And the truth is that they're just a little bit butthurt that they're not got the confidence to get stuck in and do it this way. Because this is the new way of doing it. Unfortunately, this is. Yeah. Whether you like it or not, just posting a square post of your work doesn't fucking work anymore. And I know you wish it did. True. I know you wish it did so much, and I fucking wish it did. But I don't. Do you know I want to get on fucking and I don't do this and just, fucking look at the point, and I don't really want to do that, right? I don't love doing that. But that's the best part. That's how it fucking works, okay? So if you want this to work and you want something to you want this to work for you, get stuck in, get over yourself, stop being precious, okay? Things have changed. But people get angry and they don't like it. They don't like that it's changed. They don't like that you're doing it and getting stuck in and making it work. So they have to say shitty things. And, you know, as long as I have that relationship with that and I'm quite comfortable with it, so I'm all right. But again, some people don't. I have friends who do this, who share their work. They're very nervous about sharing their work. And then when they do get shitty comments, they retreat and they don't want to do it. And it pisses me off because it's like there's no need to do that. There's no need to be an asshole. Like, I'm a big advocate of just doing the right thing. I try to look after everyone. I'm a very friendly dude. I'm a very welcoming dude. Like, I truly believe there's no such thing as a bad idea, and it pisses me off that people just have to be nasty. But it is it's the world we live in, man. There's not much you can do really about it.
But you know, you are an advocate for putting yourself out there. You're an advocate for being vulnerable, right?
Yeah,
and
dude.
you define it as what vulnerability is strength,
Absolutely.
Which I think is fucking. I am a huge fan of being humble. You know, humility will take you further than being an arrogant dick. But, you know, you it's in the same light. You went out there and just put it out there. Vulnerability is strength. I think that's fucking brilliant, dude.
Yeah, it absolutely, dude. Like, I did. So that was fucking hard to do over the course of this. Do you know, you asked me earlier about, you know, what was it that when something clicked and worked in terms of socials and things like that. And another part of that story, as opposed to creating good stories and good storytelling and showing creativity or inspiration or education and all that other shit, the other part of that is being human, okay? And showing that I am a dude, I have a personality, and I have a life outside of just drawing stuff, right? Because then people can connect with you and they resonate with you. And that's, again, when I was talking to Alan Peters about this as well in terms of social media and helping. He asked for some advice on some, you know, making reels and things like that, which is fucking gnarly, which is insane, isn't it? It's so stupid. Like a few months ago, I'm like buying his book, like, Alan Peters, he's like, can we chat? I'm like, yeah, we can fucking chat. Are you serious? Let's do this. So I got to chat to him about this. So we were talking about this too, and it's about being relatable is ultimately the goal. And when I was saying to Alan, I was like, Alan, maybe the issue you're having here is that you're not relatable because you've done so many fucking amazing things. Like, you wrote all these books and worked on these amazing things, right? So young designers, they can look up to you and they can be inspired by you. But can they relate to you? Like, are you telling stories about who you are as a human being where they can go, oh, fuck, Alan makes mistakes and I make mistakes, so that's fucking awesome. Because if Alan Peters makes mistakes, then, and he makes the same mistakes I make, or he messes up where I make up, like, I'm doing okay. So, like, and that's what, because it's true, right? Alan Peters isn't a god, even though I think he is a little bit, but, like, you know, he makes mistakes too. And I was like, to show that vulnerability, show that you're a human being and you're not just like a fucking robot that just can just execute everything perfectly every time. And I had the same manner of thinking when I started creating stuff as well. And the minute I start to show people that I'm just a human being and I make mistakes and this is the real side of it, something clicked and things really took off. And it's very hard to do. And it's not, I don't think you should overshare and tell everyone like all the terrible things that are happening in your life. There is a line, there's a limit of, you know, have a private life. But I truly, like, I think one thing I struggled with, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I don't know how a lot of people feel about this. This is actually what made me fall in love with your podcast so much and the content you guys post, right? Is that before I become freelance and in the early days of becoming freelance, I was watching so much content that was just like telling me that you know, people were just waking up and like, oh, I woke up and fucking meditated for like 5 hours. I read a book, read 7 chapters of a book, ran a 5K, came here, did this, and I made 10K this month. And then there's all this bullshit, right? And they're like 21 years old, and they're like, yeah, I'm running like a fucking a 7-figure business, and I just woke up and I smell incredible, right? I fucking hate it so much because it's not real at all, right? And I'm watching that, and it doesn't inspire me. It does the opposite, because what it does does is he goes, well, fuck me, I couldn't even get out of bed properly without like creaking as I got out of the bed, and like I came down and like the idea didn't come to me straight away like it did for you, so I must be doing something fucking wrong, right? And that's happening across the entire social media aspect, right? People, kids and younger designers are watching this going, well, I'm never gonna, they set the bar so fucking high and so impossibly high that it doesn't feel like you'll ever get there. So I was like, I'm going to show people the realistic side of this. I'm going to show people, like, genuinely, if I win, great, I win. If I fail, I'm going to show you that. Because what's going to happen is you're going to relate to me. 2, you understand who I am, and it makes someone just feel a little bit better, and that it's possible. Because that's the thing, like, 10 years ago, when I was starting this industry and I wanted to get into it so much, there was no one in my space, there was no one in the design industry, or even like a mentor or someone you could look up to that was struggling in any way, right? It was always like, the people you looked up to were doing amazing things, and they were doing incredible stuff, and they just seemed to just wake up and make it happen. And they didn't seem to be struggling with anything. They didn't seem to struggle with panic attacks or mental health or anything like that, right? So you can't relate to these people. And then what happens is, as a person, you start to think, well, and for me to be successful, for me to do amazing things in my life, I need to be able to just be okay. I need to be able to not have a meltdown. I need to be able to not have panic attacks. I need to be able to not. So until I solve that, I'll never be good. I'll never be successful. So then when I started to have a voice on this platform, and I could have some level of, which I fucking hate using this word, influence, it had to be for good.
I get it.
It had to be for good. It had to show people that it doesn't matter. Like, look at me now. Like, I'm doing amazing things, and I've made this thing work for me, but I struggle all the fucking time with stuff. So now you can feel like you can do it too, right? Like, if you're struggling, and you're struggling with your mental health, or this thing's happening, or your parents fucking suck, or your dog died, or whatever the fuck it is that you're struggling with, it doesn't mean that you can't make something of your life, because the cards were not in my favor and have not been in my favor the whole time, and I'm figuring it out. If I can figure out, you can figure it out, and I'm going to show you along the way. And I just felt like that was the right thing to do. Otherwise, I'm going to fucking sleep at night. I can't come out and be like, oh, I just woke up and all this shit just happened to me. It's so easy. Because it's so true. It doesn't help anyone. That doesn't do anything good for anyone.
Well, and I think, so you did this, and again, not that people put it out there, but your last post of last year, you intentionally, and not, I mean, it sounds cliche to talk about it right now, but you just put it all out there. You showed where you sucked. You showed how far you've come. And for the record, you've progressed way further and faster since. But that was just the most perfect way to finish off the year. Like, there was no other way it took for you to do that, brother. I was so proud, honestly.
Dude, thank you so much. And again, it wasn't for me. It wasn't. I mean, it was lovely to. It was a more like a therapeutic way to look back when I was editing that video and putting it together. There's a part of me that my heart's fucking beating in my chest. Like, Jesus Christ, am I really gonna share this? Am I gonna genuinely show people that, like, this is what happened this year? Am I gonna do that? And then just when you have that question, you go, of course you fucking are, because it's going to help someone. It's going to do something amazing. And I put that thing together, and oh God, man, I was trembling. I was like, oh, press share. Like, do you know what I mean? And like, because in this video, I'm actually showing, in that moment, I'm dealing with a panic attack right in that moment. So in a very short, I'm trying to make it short. As you can tell, guys, I talk a lot of shit, so please tell me to shut up. Look, in the short,
somebody who could out-talk me.
Yeah, right, exactly. Look, you met your match, right? You invited me here.
Oh, you crushed me, man. I'm kidding. Nothing but love.
So look, I've struggled with panic attacks all my life, man. Ever since I was a little boy, dude. I didn't ask for them; they just kind of happened. I don't know where they've really come from then, and I've tried to sort them. And I'm a normal dude, believe it or not, but they happen. And I can have years where they're never there, and I'm like so on top of it. And like normal CJ's driving, he's in full control. And then, dude, there can be a day I wake up and that shit changes, and it sucks. And now the idiot CJ with no rationale ties the good CJ up, puts him in the boot, and now he's driving, and I'm in the back like, fucking let me out. It's horrible. It's not a nice feeling. It fucking sucks. Does that mean I can't be a successful graphic designer? No, it fucking doesn't. So I'm going to show that to the world, and I have to show it to the world. But on top of all of that, so I'm like, I need to show this to people, or I need to tell that story somehow. And actually, I have to thank one dude actually for that, and that's actually James Martin. So I spoke to
I
spoke to Mr. James Martin a few times. I had a few conversations. And this was literally whilst I was going through it. So this was probably around May of last year. And so I'm like 30, 40, 50,000 followers on Instagram. So things are tickling and things are happening. I'm like, oh, this is so amazing. All these wonderful things happening. And I go into this really bad space in my life where out of the blue, I started experiencing these horrendous panic attacks again, and I can't stop them. And I've got all these methods and wonderful ways of getting out of them. For some reason, they're kicking my ass, and I can't stop it. And I'm going through this horrendous time. I actually mentioned it to James, and he was like, "Why don't you share that story? Why don't you do that? Like, maybe there's a way of, you getting over it in that manner." So it took me the entire year to kind of maybe pluck up the courage to be that honest with the world. So the idea is that video that I filmed, it's right in the middle of that reel that you're talking about, where I say, my name's CJ and I struggle with panic attacks, and I explain kind of some of the symptoms. I never intended for that to ever be seen. I actually filmed that to show it to myself when I was feeling better, to show myself that I'm okay and I can get out of it and I'm alive and like nothing bad's gonna happen to me. But when I was making this video, I was like, there was something missing, and I was going through all the months, basically. I was going through all the months of the year of like what happened in January, what happened in February, and I was like, well, May fucking sucked. May and June, you had a howler, dude. Show it. And fucking show it. Yeah. And the minute I showed that and I shared that with the world, dude, I had the most insane influx of messages from people, and it changed my life. It changed hopefully other people's lives, because they just was like, there's a dude out there that's crushing it and he's doing all these wonderful things, and he struggles with this thing, and I struggle with that thing too. And if he's okay, I'm going to be okay. And he explained it in a way that no one's explained it before, because he actually gets it. And then suddenly there's this strength in that vulnerability by me showing, to people like, look, I'm doing cool stuff, but at the same time, I just struggle with this thing and it's kind of shitty, but it's no big deal really, and I don't give it too much power. It gave me a lot of strength, and that changed again. Like, that was at the end of the year. I was on like 100,000 followers at that time, and now I'm about to hit 300. Like 300 in like 3 months.
Man.
Dude, it's gone wild. And I think a level of that, another pillar amongst all the other things, is that just showing a bit of vulnerability and just showing people who I am. It's not the whole beast, you've got to show that you can actually create logos or all this other stuff, and storytelling and all the other things that come with it. But I think a level of showing that I'm just a dude has massively helped me, and I'm not saying that it's going to help everyone else. If you want to do this and you want to market yourself, I'm not saying that that's always the right thing to do. But for me, it worked, and I'm quite happy to have done it, because if I can help other people along the way. Getting clients is kind of always the mission. Do you know what I mean? That's always like,
of course, right? Well, it pays the bills. It's the evil necessity, right?
Yeah. The point of me marketing myself is always that. But along the way, if I can help some people, dude, that's sick.
There's nothing more rewarding.
Yeah, dude, how can I not be stoked about that? How can I not go to bed that night just being like, one dude messaged me and just said thank you for making him feel a smidge better. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm in every time. Yes. Of course I am, every time.
And that is the driving force for this podcast. Because, dude, nothing feels better when people will send me a message and be, thank you. I needed to hear that. You say it the way it is. You're helping me get through this. We've everything from helping people with their portfolios to getting jobs to just getting over these times. This isn't a fucking easy industry. And like you said, if you're not prepared and prepared for sacrifice, prepared to be able to take all the shots that you're going to feel, whether it's clients or agencies or this, dude, this isn't the industry for it, right? But we want to make sure people realize that going into this, right? And we're not sugarcoating it, just like you're not. So
and that's why I love your stuff so much. Like I'm really picky with what I watch and what I follow, right? Because as you can tell, I get pretty fucking angry with people. I'm like,
brother.
That information bullshit, or I don't like it, or that's a really horrible thing to say. And then I came across you guys. I was like, whoa, there's a couple of other angry designers out there. This is cool. And then everything I was watching and what I was consuming from you guys, I was like, fucking bang on. Yes. Like, finally someone that gets it. Finally that someone's like saying stuff that makes sense to me. And just, you know, and making me laugh at the same time. And, you know, devastatingly Sean, of course, only Sean. You know,
I know, right?
You guys are fucking look awesome. And this podcast is awesome. That's why I'm like, again, I'm very particular with who I like align with, who I put my name next to. All these things like come into that. Like, I don't do like, it sounds really stupid. I don't even do like sponsored posts or anything like that. Like I don't sell other people's products or shit. Like I've had Adobe reach out to me.
Yeah.
Don't hate me, Adobe. I pissed Adobe off a few times. But you know, Adobe reached out to me like, oh, can you talk about this and like we'll pay you to do it. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't. And it's not like, look, I don't want to do that.
It's
the minute I do that, it crosses like a threshold where I'm like, I'm an influencer that's selling products to people. I don't want to fucking do that. I just want to give shit away for free, do the right thing. That's what I'm here to do. And that's what I loved about you guys. It was just like this real authentic, real side of the industry of just like what it's like to truly do this. That's where I want to put myself. I don't want to go out and try and sell people fucking shitty chairs because I have some followers. That sucks. That's not for me.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, so much so, though, that you have started the Fellow Designers Club. And I mean, that's where we get the whole, baby. That you've got, right?
Yeah, dude, the good vibes.
So, I mean, go talk about it. Because as soon as we saw that, I was like, this like totally aligns with everything that we believe.
Yeah, dude. So, I mean, that's it. So those annoyances, those struggles I was having as like a consumer of social media was, you know, I was like, I want to try and find a way to like, I'm never going to solve it, but I can like kind of push people into a little bit of content that may genuinely be of use to them, because all I was seeing was either sponsored posts of people telling me to buy shit as a designer that may or may not actually help me, or people telling me that they made like 10k in like 20 days and that if you're not doing it, you're a fucking idiot. And you know that you have to niche down to one particular subject, or you know, and there was just all this information that if I truly believed, I just thought it was dog shit. I didn't think it was right. So I was like, okay, well, I can do what I can as a designer on my platform and do that thing, but like, is there like a bigger picture here? Can I do more with this? And I wanted to like, again, like give away more stuff for free. I didn't like the idea of gatekeeping. I get asked all the time, like, you're going to make a course, And I'm like, I don't fucking know if I'm going to make a course. I'm not there yet. I like designing stuff for clients. I'm not quite ready to sit down and spend like 20 hours just putting it in a course. It's incredibly time consuming. And the idea of taking money out of designers' hands, like for something that I don't know whether it's worth it or not for them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel there's a lot of stuff I can give away for free. If I'm gonna charge someone for it, it has to be bloody good, and like they're gonna get fantastic use out of it, or make their money back instantly. So there's a lot of like conflicts. I'm like, okay, I wanted to start this thing called the Fellow Designers Club, where each month I'm gonna share like even more shit, like even more free information, where I'm really gonna deep dive into like, this is a brief that I got stuck in with, and this is what went well, this is how I got it, you know, like just everything, like just no more like full-blown fly on the wall style, this is how I'm doing what I'm doing, and also this is where I fucked up. So like, if I make this mistake, like this is how you can not make this mistake now. Like, all it took is one dude to mess it up, and now, you know, hopefully a few thousand people don't have to do the same thing I did, which is really exciting and really cool, and they didn't have to pay for it. So like, that's kind of the idea. It's like, how do we build that? And then there was this other idea of like, okay, I can like do this with designers that I love and respect and think are amazing, and get them to show again a little bit of vulnerability, kind of how you do. You bring me on and you get me to talk and stuff. I wanted to do the same thing, and I was gonna ask other designers to come on and be like, guys, like, tell me about your wins and your fails, because it will genuinely help other designers that are just absolutely either clueless or overwhelmed with all the information. So it's kind of like, if you're scared of all the information that's going out in the world and it's all a bit like, you just don't know where to go with it, try this. And I'm not saying that this is right as well. This is the difference, is that I'm not ramming it down your throat saying, you have to do this, otherwise you're going to fail. I'm just showing you that there's an alternative way, and if you're in, you're in. If you're out, you're out, and it's totally fine. Don't feel bad about it. I just want to show you a realistic side of it. So I kind of started that, and at the same time, I wanted to make, like I was saying to you earlier, I love making stuff. I like making like physical things and all that kind of, I love that sort of stuff. And before, whilst I was working in agencies and that I needed like a release of creativity because you just get drained elsewhere, I started I'm a surfer and I'm a skateboarder, if you can't already tell. So again, the shack hands on my skateboard, right? Surfed and skated all my life. Absolutely love it. Love all that world. Love all the design influence from that. Anyway, so I actually had a sustainable design surf company. So I made sustainable surfboards and skateboards and like backpacks made out of like bottles out of the ocean. I just loved making stuff again that was good for the planet, good for the world. And it did actually really well. I think I ran it for like 3 years. It was amazing. I had so much fun doing it. I got to take it all over the place. And that's when I just started like illustrating more and creating just more fun, creative stuff that I was the boss, so I could do whatever the fuck I wanted, right? Which was awesome.
Yeah.
I did that for like 3 years whilst I was working in normal like jobs and stuff to still be creative. But then when I went freelance and started doing what I do now, I just didn't have the time to keep that thing alive and keep doing it because I was just so invested in this world, giving it every last breath I had. So I was like, but I didn't want to let it die because I loved it so much. I was like, I need to reshape it. So it was called Dead Happy Club. And I was like, okay, I don't want to lose Dead Happy Club. I loved it. I used to have like ghosts and dead, anything that was dead, basically.
I saw that.
Yeah, right? So that's where it came from. I was like, I loved that world. I loved Dead Happy Club. It was all sustainably made. I loved it. But like, how do I now reshape this to designers? And so that kind of came into the idea as well. I was like, well, what about the Fellow Designers Club, where people could come and feel genuinely included, learn some cool shit, and at the same time get some cool swag and other things that, again, are still sustainable, being good for the planet. Like everything end to end has been like considered to make sure that we're not doing bad stuff. I'll just do that too, because then I just get to feel my like creative juices where I get to make stuff again, right? And I don't give a shit if no one buys it. Like, that's not even the point. Like, if no one buys it, honestly, hey, I just like making shit doing it. And if someone tries it, awesome. And I invited other designers to make prints with me and stuff. So everything's made to like order. So like it's like I had it all set up here in the UK that basically you could make a print with me. We'd put it up on the store. You can get people to buy it. You get all the profit. I don't take fucking any of it. You get all the profit, and the guys I work with send it all out and ship it all out like same day. Print it on like 100% recycled, like beautiful paper. It's awesome, right? So I've invited all these other designers that I love to come in, make some really cool prints, because we all get a little bit caught up making stuff for clients, and we don't get to make stuff that we love and get excited about. So it's another like outlet for designers to come in and make some stuff, send it out to the world, make it sustainably, and also just make a tiny little bit of profit on the end of it. There's not much in it, if I'm honest. I'm not going to lie. No one's making any good money out of it, but no one's getting hurt at the same time. And at the same as that, I then give £1 of every order to charity that I absolutely love. They're here in the UK. Well, technically not. They're in the Channel Islands, where they help people use water and like surf and water sports, get over like really traumatic like situations, whether it's physically or mentally, and they use kind of like water sports to kind of help them. So it's a lovely like charity. So like literally every order of everything we make on Fellow Designers Club, whether that's design templates, whether that's merch, whatever it is, every order we send £1 to these guys, and we just do it. So like end to end, everyone gets something out of this. Do you know what I mean? No matter what.
Brilliant,
and I get to share the journey along the way. Like, as I'm learning in real time, because I'm still a baby to this world in my eyes. Like, I look at you guys have, do you know what I mean? If I was to sit in a room with you guys and actually let you talk and not talk at you, I might learn a thing or two. But like, this is my opportunity to, like, as I'm learning in real time, I get to give it back to those guys, which is really, really cool. So that's kind of where that came from.
Yeah. Awesome.
Nice. That's
right. Wow. Oh, dude, I'm so glad we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
You are,
so to be
had a lot of really cool guests, but you take it to a whole new level. Like, really, you do, and I really enjoyed this. Dude. So, like I said, I knew we could end up talking for hours and hours and hours.
I know. Okay? I knew we were going to do this.
I know, and it's okay. We can always do this again in the future. There's not, and one of these days we'll actually connect in real life, which is good. But we always finish off the podcast in the same way.
Yes,
I've got a list of questions that I'm sure a lot of these you've already thought about and seen and everything. And I think these are all fitting, right? Again, I especially down here, like who? Yeah, okay. Well, let's do this.
Okay. I don't know if I'm nervous or excited.
No. Some of these are really basic, but you know what I mean. Again, I think you'll get the gist. Okay,
right,
2 minutes. Let's find out some of the last little final things that make you human, okay? And you ready?
CJ, are you ready, buddy?
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah. Here we go.
Mac or PC?
Mac, all the time.
Paper or tablet?
Oh, paper. Absolutely fuck
100%. Favorite music?
I'm a big hip hop fan. Hip hop / like heavy metal rock screamo. It's one or the other. 90s hip hop or Slipknot. It's one of those guys.
So Slipknot favorite band?
Oh, don't do this. Have you ever heard of Him? I doubt it. A very old band, Finnish band called Him. Bam Margera. Does that, you ever know the skateboarder Bam Margera?
Oh
Yeah.
Old school skateboarder Bam Margera, right? He had you always would have seen a heartogram, which is like this heart with like a little symbol like this. It actually wasn't his logo. That logo was from a Finnish band called Him. They're incredible, kind of like love metal, weird and wonderful. No one's going to check it out, but check it out.
Maybe we should. You will. Morning person, night owl.
Oh, dude, night owl.
Favorite cartoon?
The early 2000s Spider-Man series, animated series.
Yes.
So good.
Favorite collectible?
Pop figures, man. I'm a big pop dude. Look, I'm such a narcissist. That's me.
Yes. I love it.
Idiot.
I love it.
That's great.
Favorite superhero?
Oh, Spider-Man. Absolutely all day long. He's everywhere. Spider-Man everywhere.
All right.
Mouse or stylus?
Oh, mouse, man, all day long. I'm a mouse. Even though that's a terrible mouse, I'm so sorry. But yes, mouse.
I'm right there. Favorite logo design trend for 2024?
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna say mascot all day long. I'm a big mascot boy. Let's go mascot.
I'm gonna say that was a trick question. You're wrong. Trend should never be associated in the same line as a logo.
That is very good. Very good.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee all day long, maybe.
Puppies or kittens?
I'm going to have to say kittens because my girlfriend will leave me. We have a little kitten. So I'm going to have to say kitten. Puppies are awesome.
All right,
kittens.
Based on a technicality, I'll let that one slide. Pirates or ninjas?
Oh, shit. Pirates, bro. Pirates have beards, baby. They have beards.
Yeah. Who'd ride the best wave? Andrew Cotton or Kelly Slater?
Kelly Slater all day long. No questions asked. Kelly Slater.
All right. There you go.
Favorite graphic designer? Past or present?
Jack Chitty all day. Like, he knows it. I love him so much. You guys
amazing,
need to chat to this man. He's a genius, Jack Chitty. I love him because he can tell a story better than I can with like half the work. Like, he creates most beautiful, minimal, abstract marks. That's fucking genius. It pisses me off so much. I wish I could think like that. Okay. Need a little bit more guts behind it. Yeah, Jack Chitty.
So would that be your favorite artist ever?
Favorite artist is do you know I think his name's Maccabees, which is like he's a French or Belgium artist. You ever heard of the Dudes, which is I'm gonna take a print off the wall. These guys make the most beautiful stuff.
But no, that's awesome.
He's really cool. I feel like I absolutely butchered his name, so I'm so sorry if he's listening. He will never listen, but if he is listening, that would suck.
What are you saying?
Dude, no, he's super like he's like his own little spirit somewhere. He's incredible, man. His artwork's beautiful. I'll send you a link. It's credible.
All right. Yes. Well, which is closer to your heart, RGB or CMYK?
CMYK.
Serif or non-serif?
Non-serif.
Favorite font right now?
Favorite font right now? I'm going to actually cheat and use my computer right now that I'm using. Either there's a font called Moderate that I absolutely love at the moment. There's a font called Hank and Grotesque, which is beautiful. There's also a font that is actually a slight serif font that I'm absolutely abusing right now in every project that I try to get on with, which is called Matroll. I think that's how you say it. Matroll. Again, I'll send it to you. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
It's good. Okay. Adobe fonts or Google fonts?
I'm going to say Google fonts. And I feel a little bit sick saying it, but I'm all right about it. Google fonts.
No, fair. Illustrator or Photoshop?
Illustrator.
Yeah. True or false? AI will replace graphic designers.
False. Never going to happen. No chance.
Right. Great. What's your guilty pleasure?
Justin Timberlake. Absolutely love that man so much.
Wow. That is a guilty pleasure. You don't want anybody knowing that one.
90s hip hop, Slipknot, heavy metal, and then Justin Timberlake is in there. That dude makes some good tunes. I can't help it.
He's funky.
Superpower of choice.
Got to be able to fly. Just fly. Love the idea of flying. Would be awesome.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, flying's sick.
Who'd win in a fight? Tony Hawk or Kelly Slater? We're bringing back
Kelly Slater's coming back.
Kelly Slater would look. I love Tony Hawk. Kelly Slater would absolutely fold Tony Hawk, dude. Tony Hawk is a gangly, like, nicest dude ever. Slater's got a body shape for being a surfer. He'd kick the shit out of Tony Hawk.
He's a little bit of a badass.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Best video game console ever?
Oh, the console. I'm going to say Sega Mega Drive. Sega Mega Drive with Sonic, like the Sonic the Hedgehog games with the Sega Mega Drive. I grew up playing that bad boy. Blow the cartridges because there was too much dust in there. And you have to plug that bad boy
and jam that bad boy back in there.
Like, with your elbow to get it back in. Yeah, one of those.
And last but not least, one thing that always makes you angry.
Oh, people that don't fucking indicate on a roundabout. I swear.
Here comes the roundabout again.
Yeah, oh, man. Like when I get to a roundabout and someone just don't fucking indicate and they pull out on me, I'm not kidding. I get so angry. I beep. I put the window down and I shout out the window. I'm like, "You suck! You suck! You suck! You suck!" And I have to let them know that because I think they need to learn the lesson because it's dangerous. Fuck those guys.
Those people have their heads so far up their asses they won't learn anything, man.
Dude, I will straight up chase people down to let them know that they fucked up. I'm not okay about it. It's fucking indicate.
I'm gonna wait for that viral video to come out.
Yeah, it's just an angry dude in a van with a
And here's CJ, everybody.
Yeah.
So you managed to do the 2-minute lightning round questions in 6.5 minutes. So not surprising. Good job.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. There's no way
that might be a record.
Yeah. I'm fucking terrible at that. I'm not. Yeah. Sorry.
That's amazing. No. Dude, you rock. This has been probably one of my. They've all been amazing conversations, but you've taken this to a whole new level, dude.
Oh, bro, man,
you've raised the bar on everybody from here after. So they better be scared to come on this show. Yeah. They might not even after this episode.
No, this could be the last one, baby. Dude, not at all, man. Thank God, guys. Genuinely, thank you so much. Like, I honestly appreciate when you said to me, like, "Oh, dude, you want to come on the show?" I lost my mind. I was like, "There's no way these boys are asking me to come on their show," but here I am doing this thing with you guys. Honestly, thank you so much.
And it has been a pleasure watching you, because again, it's like, you're right. There's so much shit out there that I hate watching. There's so many people that do things that make me cringe, but you put it out there. You're genuine. You're authentic.
You're legit. Yeah.
You're legit.
Like,
and
dude,
it's been a pleasure to watch you rise like this. And you have earned all, and I don't want to say praise because you're not the kind of person that would accept praise because you're too humble for it. But honestly, everything that's coming your way, you've earned. You've persevered through the fucking hard times, and you're loving the ride. You're always looking at the positive side of this. So I hope everybody is going to be like you. Our next generation of designers, because we need thick skin to get through what's coming in the future, and you're demonstrating it on a daily basis. So you fucking rock, buddy.
Boys,
and more spit takes.
Absolutely.
And more spit takes. I fucking love that. That was the best.
I put a towel up and everything.
Did you? I was just gonna say, where did that go? You got a bucket?
The towel is now in the bin. I fully committed to that. I spat out 5 times to get that right as well, dude. It was coffee everywhere. My room stank of it. It was awful, dude. So, yeah, I'm so glad you. As long as everyone asked me, it's like, did you actually spit that out, and where did it go? And this is exclusive. I never told anyone where it went, but it went all over some nasty towel somewhere.
That's commitment, buddy. I love it.
Hell yeah.
So if you want anybody to find you online, where do they got to go, buddy?
I mean, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm all over that kind of world. Of just cj.cawley.design, I believe. I don't think I've ever actually said my handle out loud. You can find my website. That's probably about it. I'm gonna try YouTube at some point, but that's like a whole other beast on itself.
It is a whole other beast. Yeah.
I'll get there when I get there. But that's where you can find me at.
Well, you're killing it on Instagram, and your TikToks are fun, but I'll stick with Instagram. That's our speed.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
So, and I want everybody to check this out. So I think that pretty much is it. So please, everybody, check out this fucking guy, because honestly, he embodies everything that this podcast embraces and wants to put out. So, dude, thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. My name is Massimo.
My name is Sean.
And you are...
CJ.
Stay creative
and stay angry.
Peace.
stay out of the roundabouts.
Especially when this guy's on there.
Yeah, don't fuck with me, man. Jesus.
Yeah.